Greetings, survivors of the 2020 Tecmo Super Bowl Thanos Snap. This is your old buddy Ben Schwartz coming to you live from my secret broadcast cave somewhere in rural Nebraska. I'm here with Presidents Nixon and Roosevelt, and also the two men who should be president, Fred McGriff and Bernie Sanders. The reason for my recording here, one of these cool vertical recordings like you see all the TikTok kids do, is I wanted to share my thoughts on a fun matchup from the original Tecmo Bowl, Indianapolis versus Miami. All right, this game features two of the best offensive talents in the game, Eric Dickerson and Dan Marino, and there's not much else on either side. To defend Indy, obviously, you got to keep a lid on Dickerson. Due to the way the blocking works in this game, you can't always use your interior defenders, your defensive tackles, or inside linebackers against the run, but in this instance, you can. Miami's fastest defender is bottom inside linebacker John Offerdahl, so the base defense for the Miami D is calling run one and being Offerdahl. If you do that, you swarm run one. Offerdahl is unblocked to make the tackle on run two. And this will also cause the top safety to computer cover the top wide receiver on pass two, which means that you only need to worry about the tight end and the bottom wide receiver. Pass two is one of Indy's kind of, maybe it's their bread and butter play. It's usually a pretty safe completion. Both those receivers are really slow. Trudeau's arm is really weak. So this is a good situation to be, to have Offerdahl able to cover both those guys. You might be able to force a turnover. This base defense provides no help if the offense calls pass one. So if that happens, you want to use Offerdahl's speed to deny the ball to the top wide receiver and keep an eye on Dickerson if he comes out of the backfield. To defend the pass, what you want to do for the most part is call pass two. If you do that, that top safety is going to computer cover the wide receiver's deep route, which will leave you in the position where you have to watch Dickerson, who starts off in the backfield at the very top of the screen. You've got Brooks at the bottom, who runs an in route. And then Pat Beach, the tight end, runs a weird one where he just goes like 2 yards past the line of scrimmage and parks there. So those will be the options available to the quarterback. Be mindful on Dickerson coming out of the backfield. It's also important to remember not to be Offerdahl if you call a pass play, because if the offense runs, he will be blocked 100% of the time. You're going to give up a big play to Dickerson. So you want to be either a top defensive end, outside linebacker, or safety, or one of those guys on the bottom to give yourself at least a 50-50 chance of being unblocked. Now, if you want to do a good job defending against Miami, you don't have to be a defensive genius to look at their playbook and realize that pass three is the best play, and calling that often is the way to go. But what you may not realize is that doing so not only consistently denies Miami their best offensive play, it also gives you really helpful coverage on the other two passes. On pass one, the bottom outside linebacker is going to cover the bottom receiver. Pass two, the top safety will move to Duper, the top wide receiver, and cover him. So that's going to force Marino to throw into some pretty tight windows. He's got the strongest arm in the game, so if anyone can do it, it's him. But the more passes he has to throw, the more opportunities for a mistake, and you can force a turnover. Miami's receiving core is actually pretty slow. They're not the slowest, but they have mediocre speed. They don't pile up a lot of yards after they catch the ball. It's not all good news for the Indy D. The pass three base defense means that you're going to need your best defender, Dwayne Bickett. He's the bottom outside linebacker. Well, you're going to need him for potential computer coverage. If you control him, you might lose that advantage. So your best bets are top defensive end John Hand or bottom safety Fred Robinson. Robinson really has excellent top speed, but he starts off really slow. He doesn't change direction well. He's not a great defender, but he's definitely one of your better options when you're going up against the Miami offense. Miami's one run play is a weird one. It's like a draw. And the way it's blocked, it accounts for all the defenders except the outside linebackers. Miami's running back, Lorenzo Hampton, sucks. He's too slow to really make hay of this, but he is capable of getting first downs or at least getting close. The last thing you want to have to do against Miami is ever call that run play. So if your opponent is dinging you with the Hampton run consistently, you can risk controlling Bickett or Indy's terrible top outside linebacker. His name is Johnny Cooks. Both those guys will be unblocked on the run. So you just call pass 3 and roll the dice with one of those guys. Even Cooks is able to make the play pretty quickly against Lorenzo Hampton. On special teams, neither team's kick returner is worth a shit. Indy does have a couple of good offensive linemen, and Miami has one good offensive lineman. Those guys really shine on kick returns, so that can lead to some pretty big holes that even these terrible return men can take advantage of. Both Miami and Indy have good punters. Miami has a very weak kicker, one of the worst in the game. Indy has the best kicker, so advantage Indianapolis in that regard. Also, Bickett from that bottom outside linebacker position can bring the heat on medium to long range field goal attempts. So that's what's up with Indy versus Miami. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.